If you want to maximize your muscle gains and improve your physique, then you need to improve on your performance on every lift you do in your routine. I've said it before and I'll say it again until the cows come home. Progressive overload is absolutely crucial. Mind muscle connection, high volume, time under tension, optimal exercises are all irrelevant if progressive overload doesn't take place over the long term. For the 1% of people out there with elite genetics, this rule may not apply to them, but for the 99% of you, myself included, muscle gain is directly correlated to your performance in the gym with every single lift that you're doing. If you're improving your performance slowly over time on all of your lifts, then you're guaranteed to build muscle. Strength and size cannot be separated. Yes, you can emphasize one over the other depending on how you structure your training, but it is impossible to completely separate the two in terms of your training. The science clearly states that, and anecdotally, if you ask any big guy in your gym how they got big, I guarantee they would say a huge part of that was getting stronger on lifts over the years. Like the saying goes, a stronger muscle is a bigger muscle, and a bigger muscle has the potential to be a stronger muscle. I'll give you an example. Let's say over the course of the next 3 years, you took your 5 rep max bench press from 60 kilo to 140 kilo, your 10 rep max pull up from body weight to 80 kilo, your 5 rep max squat from 60 kilo to 180 kilo, and your 5 rep max deadlift from 100 kilo to 220 kilo. In 3 years' time, you're going to look like a completely different human in terms of size gained and the muscle mass that you've gained over those years, regardless of what training modality or split you use to get to that point. Another point that I'll raise is that when you focus on your performance in the gym, it tends to gravitate your training more towards the basic movements. And I've explained in an old video why focusing on the basics and simplifying your training is the best use of your time. So you can watch that if you want. But to put it quickly and simply, when you focus on the basic barbell movements, it gives you the most potential in terms of strength gain, and it stimulates a large amount of muscles with very few movements needed. Over years and years of doing this will directly carry over to the amount of size that you've put on your frame. And with the addition of a few basic isolation movements, you've got the full package right there. Now, when I refer to getting stronger and improving your performance, I'm not really talking about low rep ranges like 1 to 3 rep maxes. I'm specifically talking about getting stronger in the 5 to 12 rep range. A lot of people confuse the idea of getting stronger with doing heavy singles and heavy doubles in your training. Now, don't get me wrong, you can get bigger doing these low rep ranges, but purely for muscle size, it's an unnecessary way to go about things. I want to interrupt this video to say that I'm now offering a full online coaching service. So if you want to build muscle, get jacked, lose fat, and learn about training directly from me, click the link in this description to find out more. The problem with super low rep ranges like this is that the weight is so heavy that the muscle building stimulus is low. So to make up for that, you need to perform a high amount of sets, something like 8 sets of 2 reps or 6 sets of 3 reps to get the same muscle building signal that something like 3 sets of 6 to 10 reps would give you. So just think about that for a second. You're going in to do a heavy double, so 2 reps to failure. You have to really hype yourself up. You have to get in the zone and be laser focused and give it absolutely everything just to get 2 reps. You finally complete that, and then you have to do that another 7 times after that. It's going to take a lot of time with rest in between sets, and that's going to beat you down mentally and also physically. It's just a lot of weight to put on your body and just to keep performing that over and over again in a single session. When you could arguably get a better muscle building stimulus, just making the weights a little bit higher and pushing your reps a little bit higher. So let's say 3 sets of 10 reps and then 7 reps and then 6 reps. Compared to something like 8 sets of 2 reps, absolutely balls to the wall intensity. It's just a lot easier to deal with both physically and in your mind. So think of it like this. When you're doing your grocery shopping, getting to and from the shop, you can either walk there or you can drive there. Walking is your super heavy rep ranges, 1 to 3 reps. Driving there is your medium heavy loads, 5 to 12 reps. Now the end result is going to be the exact same for both ways because you're going to have the groceries in your fridge by the end of the day. But if you decide to walk there, for 1, it's going to take you way longer to go to and from, and 2, it's going to be a lot more tiring. If you drive there, it's going to be way faster and it's going to cost you way less energy. So it's the same kind of principle when you're comparing super heavy loads to your medium heavy loads for hypertrophy training. And this is where people make the argument that you shouldn't strength train for size. But like I said, I'm strictly referring to getting stronger in the 5 to 12 rep range. That window of reps, it has a good balance between volume and intensity. There's enough volume per set to stimulate a good growth response, and the weights are still heavy enough that when you begin your set, you're still in close proximity to failure, so you don't have to do countless reps before you approach that failure, which is where the growth happens. So if you're doing a 6 rep set, by the time you get to rep 2, you're already stimulating a good growth response and you don't have that much more to go until you reach 5 or 6 reps of that set. So to recap, if your main goal is adding muscle to your frame, then you want to focus on your performance in the 5 to 12 rep range. Get stronger in that window of reps over time and you're going to build slabs of muscle to your frame. With the exception of a few isolation movements, you can push the reps a bit higher, but the principle still remains the same. You want to improve your performance and get stronger and lift more weight on those small isolations over time. Doing this, you're going to look like a completely different human in a couple of years to come without overcomplicating things too much. So with all that being said, try it out for yourself and see you go from there. Until next time, peace.